Welcome back to English Compass. Have you ever met someone who just seems to pick up English effortlessly? They watch one movie and catch the jokes. They travel once and return speaking naturally. You read their posts, you listen to their conversations. And a quiet voice whispers in your head, they must be gifted. They have a talent for languages. I do not. If you have felt this, you are not alone. I have felt it too. For years, I believed fluency was a gift given to a lucky few. I thought some brains were wired for rhythm, for memory, for sound. I thought consistency was just what people did when they had natural ability. I was wrong. The truth is simpler, quieter, and far more powerful. Talent might open a door, but consistency builds the house. Talent creates a fast start. Consistency creates lasting fluency, and in language learning, lasting fluency is the only thing that matters. Today, I will share a story that changed how I practice. I will explain why the talented learner is often just a disciplined learner in disguise. I will show you how small daily actions compound into real progress. And I will give you a clear, sustainable system to build unbreakable consistency. Before we begin, take a slow breath. Place your hand over your chest. Say this out loud. I do not need a gift. I need a habit. I will show up. I will grow. Good. Let's step into the truth. The talent myth and the invisible work. Let me tell you about a moment that shattered my belief in language talent. 5 years ago, I joined a local English meetup. A man named David sat next to me. He spoke clearly. He laughed easily. He understood jokes quickly. He switched between topics without hesitation. After 30 minutes, someone asked him, "How long have you been learning English?" He smiled and said, "About 6 months." The room went quiet. People nodded. Some looked impressed. Others looked discouraged. I felt a heavy knot in my stomach. I had studied for 8 years. I had taken courses. I had read textbooks. And yet, he spoke more naturally after 6 months than I did after 8 years. I told myself the same old story. He has a gift. I do not. Maybe I should accept that I will always be average. But curiosity is stronger than defeat. I stayed after the meetup. I asked David a simple question. What did you do every day? He did not give me a magical formula. He gave me a schedule. I wake up at 6:30. I listen to a 10-minute podcast while making coffee. I write 3 sentences in a notebook. I read 1 short article on my phone during lunch. I watch a 5-minute video in the evening. I repeat out loud before bed. That's it. Every day. Even when I travel, even when I'm tired, even when I don't feel like it. 6 months. Not magic, not talent. Just daily, quiet repetition. That night, I realized I had been watching the visible result, not the invisible process. We call it talent because we do not see the hours. We call it gifted because we do not see the routine. But language is not a genetic trait. It is a trained skill. Like riding a bicycle, like playing an instrument, like building muscle. You do not wake up strong. You become strong by lifting, resting, and lifting again. I began tracking my own practice honestly. I stopped measuring talent. I started measuring days. I noticed something important. The learners who progressed fastest were not the smartest. They were the most reliable. They did not study for 5 hours on Sunday and skip Monday through Saturday. They practiced for 20 minutes every single day. They returned to English when it felt easy. They returned when it felt hard. They returned when they saw no progress. And slowly, invisibly, their brains rewired. Vocabulary and context. Listen to these 4 phrases. They will anchor today's lesson. Invisible process, the daily work that happens behind the scenes, unseen by others. Trained skill, an ability developed through repetition, not born naturally. Reliable practice, showing up regularly, regardless of motivation or mood compound progress. Small gains that multiply over time through consistency. Repeat after me. Invisible process. Trained skill. Reliable practice. Compound progress. Keep these in mind. They replace the myth of talent with the reality of discipline. Grammar focus, contrast. Clauses for mindset shift. Notice how I compare old beliefs with the new understanding. I used to believe fluency was a gift, whereas now I know it is a habit. Talent may create a fast start, but consistency builds lasting results. Even though progress feels slow, it is still moving forward. We use contrast connectors to show growth in thinking. They make your speech sound mature and reflective. Repeat after me. I focused on talent before, whereas now I focus on routine. Motivation fades quickly, but discipline lasts longer. Even though I cannot see daily changes, they are happening. Good. You are practicing advanced sentence structure in a meaningful context, the compound effect of daily return. Why does consistency work so well? Because your brain learns through repetition, not intensity. Every time you practice English, your neurons form connections. At first, these connections are weak, like thin threads in a net. If you do not use them, they fade. If you use them daily, they strengthen, they thicken, they become pathways. Think of walking through a forest. The first time, you push branches aside, you step over roots, you leave a faint trail. The second time, it is slightly easier. The 10th time, the path is clear. The 100th time, it is a road. You do not need to run through the forest once, you need to walk it repeatedly. Language learning follows the exact same pattern. I remember the plateau phase clearly. Months 3 through 5. I practiced daily. I tracked my hours. But I saw no obvious improvement. My speaking felt the same. My listening felt unchanged. I questioned everything. I almost quit. I told myself, maybe this does not work for me. Maybe I lack the ability. But I made a promise. I would not stop. I would reduce the time if needed, 10 minutes instead of 30. But I would not break the chain. Then, around month 6, something shifted. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but noticeably. I caught myself understanding a podcast without rewinding. I answered a question without translating. I used a phrase naturally, without planning it. I did not become fluent overnight. I became consistent enough for fluency to emerge. This is the compound effect of language learning. It is not linear. It is exponential. You put in work, you see nothing. You keep going. Then, one day, the pieces connect. The vocabulary you stored finally surfaces. The grammar you practiced finally flows. The listening you trained finally clicks. It feels like magic. It is actually mathematics. Daily input, X time, GN neural reinforcement. Many learners quit during the plateau. They mistake silence for failure. They mistake slow progress for no progress. But the plateau is not a wall. It is a foundation. It is where your brain consolidates what it has learned. It is where invisible work becomes visible skill. Speaking practice, repetition and rhythm. Pause the video. Listen carefully. Repeat exactly after me. Match the calm, steady pace. I do not need fast results. I need daily returns. Small steps, repeated often, become strong pathways. I trust the process. I trust my practice. I trust my growth. Again, slower. I do not need fast results. I need daily returns. Small steps, repeated often, become strong pathways. I trust the process. I trust my practice. I trust my growth. Good. Your voice is learning the rhythm of commitment. Your mind is learning the rhythm of patience. Vocabulary in context. Plateau phase. A period where progress seems to stall before the next breakthrough neural reinforcement. The strengthening of brain connections through repeated use. Consolidation period. When your brain organizes and stores new language patterns. Non-linear growth. Progress that moves in waves, not in a straight line. Repeat after me. Plateau phase. Neural reinforcement. Consolidation period. Non-linear growth. You are not falling behind. You are building beneath the surface. Grammar note, present perfect, continuous for ongoing effort. Notice how I describe sustained action. I have been practicing daily for months. You have been building pathways without noticing. They have been showing up, even when tired. We use present perfect continuous for actions that started in the past and continue now. It emphasizes duration and persistence. Repeat after me. I have been practicing consistently for weeks. My brain has been adapting slowly but surely. I have been showing up, even when progress feels invisible. Perfect. You're practicing advanced tense usage in a meaningful context. The 3 pillars of unbreakable consistency. Consistency is not a personality trait. It is a system. You do not wait to feel disciplined. You build discipline through structure. I learned this through trial, failure, and quiet refinement. I distilled everything into 3 pillars. They are simple. They are realistic. They work even on your worst days. Pillar 1. The non-negotiable minimum. Define the smallest version of practice you can do daily. Not your ideal, not your motivated version, your realistic minimum. For me, it was 10 minutes. 10 minutes of listening, 10 minutes of speaking out loud, 10 minutes of reading. Some days it stayed 10. Some days it grew to 30. But the rule was clear: never drop below the minimum. This protects your habit from burnout. It removes the pressure of all or nothing. It keeps the chain unbroken. Pillar 2. Friction reduction. Your environment dictates your behavior. If you must search for materials, set up a space, or decide what to practice, you will quit. I removed all friction. I bookmarked one podcast. I kept a notebook on my desk. I downloaded short articles offline. I set a daily reminder at the same time. I chose one routine and repeated it. Decision fatigue kills consistency. Preparation sustains it. Pillar 3. Identity shift. Stop saying, I am trying to learn English. Start saying, I am a person who practices English daily. Words shape behavior. When you identify as a practitioner, practice becomes expected, not optional. You do not negotiate with yourself. You show up because it is who you are. This is not positive thinking. It is behavioral psychology. Identity drives action. Action reinforces identity. Interactive practice, pillar implementation. Pause the video. Fill this template out loud. Speak clearly. Make it yours. My non-negotiable minimum is minutes of, I will reduce friction by, from today, I am a person who. Example, my non-negotiable minimum is 10 minutes of speaking out loud. I will reduce friction by keeping my notebook open on my desk. From today, I am a person who practices English daily. Say it twice. Firm, clear, committed. Vocabulary in context. Non-negotiable minimum. The smallest daily practice you commit to, no matter what friction reduction, removing obstacles that make practice difficult to start. Decision fatigue. Mental exhaustion from making too many small choices. Identity-driven behavior. Actions that align with how you see yourself. Repeat after me. Non-negotiable minimum. Friction reduction. Decision fatigue. Identity-driven behavior. You are not forcing yourself to practice. You are designing a life where practice happens naturally. Is grammar focus, future with going to for planned systems. Notice how I frame commitments. I'm going to keep my minimum at 10 minutes. You are going to prepare your materials tonight. We are going to protect our daily chain. Going to expresses intention and planned action. It is stronger than will for systems you design. Repeat after me. I am going to stick to my minimum every day. I'm going to set up my practice space tonight. I'm going to protect my identity as a daily practitioner. Excellent. You are programming your brain for sustained action. The turning point and real-world proof. The true test of consistency does not happen in your room. It happens in the wild, in real conversations, in unexpected moments. For me, it happened on a rainy Thursday. I was at a small bookstore. A foreign tourist approached the counter. The clerk looked confused. The tourist spoke quickly. I stepped forward. I did not prepare. I did not rehearse. I simply listened. I understood the main request. I responded calmly. I asked for clarification when needed. I smiled. We exchanged a few sentences. The tourist said, "Thank you. You made this easy." I walked out feeling something I had not felt in years. Quiet confidence. Not arrogance, not pride. Quiet confidence. The kind that comes from knowing you have put in the work, not from hoping you have the talent. That moment proved everything. I did not become fluent because a switch flipped. I became fluent because I returned day after day when no one was watching. I became fluent because I practiced speaking when I felt awkward. I became fluent because I listened when I was tired. I became fluent because I chose consistency over intensity. And consistency in time becomes competence. I also noticed a secondary effect. My fear disappeared. Not all at once. Gradually. When you show up daily, you prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort. You learn that mistakes do not break you. You learn that hesitation is temporary. You learn that fluency is not a destination you reach. It is a direction you walk, every day, every sentence, every return. Occasionally, old doubts return. I see someone speak effortlessly. I hear a perfect accent. I feel the familiar whisper. Maybe you lack the gift. But now, I answer it differently. I say, I do not need a gift. I have a system. I have a habit. I have time on my side. And I continue. Vocabulary in context. Quiet confidence. Steady self-assurance built through repeated practice, not sudden success. Competence through consistency. Skill that emerges from reliable daily effort. Direction over destination. Viewing fluency as an ongoing path, not a fixed endpoint. Time as an ally, allowing days, weeks, and months to compound your progress. Repeat after me. Quiet confidence. Competence through consistency. Direction over destination. Time as an ally. You are not racing against others. You are walking your own path. And your path is long enough for success. Grammar note. Mixed conditionals for reflection. Plus reality. Notice how I blend past choices with present results. If I had quit during the plateau, I would not be speaking comfortably now. If you keep showing up daily, you will reach breakthroughs you cannot predict. If I had waited for talent, I would still be waiting. Because I chose consistency, I am progressing. Mixed conditionals show deep understanding of cause, effect, and alternative realities. They are powerful for reflective speech. Repeat after me. If I had stopped practicing, I would not feel confident today. If you trust the daily return, you will surprise yourself with progress. If I had waited for motivation, I would still be stuck. Because I built a habit, I am moving forward. Perfect. You are practicing advanced grammar in a meaningful personal context. Your 21-day consistency framework. Mindset becomes reality through routine. Here is your 21-day consistency framework. It is simple. It is B1, B2 friendly. It takes 15 to 20 minutes daily. Follow it. Protect it. Let it build your fluency. Day 1 out of 7. Chain building. Choose your non-negotiable minimum. 10 or 15 minutes. Same time, same space. Track every day with a simple check mark. Do not aim for perfection. Aim for presence. Speak out loud. Listen actively. Read slowly. Write briefly. The goal is not quality. The goal is continuity. Build the chain. Protect it. Day 8 to 14. Friction-proofing review your first week. What made practice hard? What made it easy? Adjust your environment. Prepare materials the night before. Remove distractions. Set a visible reminder. Reduce decisions. Make practice automatic. Add one speaking session daily, even if it is just describing your room. Even if it is just repeating a podcast line. Keep the chain unbroken. Day 15 to 21. Identity reinforcement. Look at your 14 check marks. Smile. You have proven something important. You can show up. Now, strengthen your identity. Write one sentence. I am a person who practices English daily. Say it every morning. Track one win daily. Not a perfect score. A real attempt. I spoke for 10 minutes. I understood a new phrase. I did not skip. Close the week by reviewing your progress, not to judge, to acknowledge. You are building a reliable foundation. Daily template practice. Pause the video. Fill this template out loud. Today, I practiced for minutes. One thing I focused on was, tomorrow I will continue by. Say it twice. Clear, steady, committed. Grammar focus, modals for commitment and self-regulation. Notice how I frame guidance. You should protect your daily minimum. You can adjust your environment tonight. You must honor your chain, even on hard days. Modals express recommendation, possibility, and gentle necessity. They are perfect for self-directed practice. Repeat after me. I should keep my practice time consistent. I can prepare my materials in advance. I must protect my daily chain no matter what. Excellent. You are building self-regulation in English. Your 21-day commitment. You do not need a gift to become fluent. You need a habit. You do not need perfect conditions to progress. You need a system. You do not need to compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. You need to protect your own page. Consistency is quiet. It does not announce itself. It does not demand attention. It shows up when you are tired. It speaks when you hesitate. It builds when you return. And in time, it becomes your greatest advantage. I used to wait for talent. Now I trust routine. I used to fear slow progress. Now I respect the plateau. I used to measure myself against others. Now I measure myself against yesterday's version. And yesterday's version always loses to today's effort. I invite you to a 21-day challenge, 15 to 20 minutes daily. Follow the consistency framework. Track your days. Protect your chain. Notice the quiet confidence grow. Notice English become a practice, not a pressure. When you are ready, comment below. Day 1. I choose consistency over intensity. I show up. I speak. I grow. I will read every comment. I will reply to your journey. This channel is not a stage for gifted speakers. It is a workshop for reliable learners. And you belong here. Subscribe to English Compass for more honest stories, graded listening practice, and step-by-step fluency systems. Turn on notifications. Your next breakthrough is not in a perfect sentence. It is in your next daily return. Before you go, place your hand over your chest. Repeat this final line with me. I do not wait for talent. I build habit. I practice daily. I trust the compound effect. I am becoming fluent, one consistent day at a time. See you tomorrow. Keep showing up. Keep walking the path. The language is yours.